Hello students, so today we will be learning the civics chapter is second federalism. This federalism topic we have started and you have learned definition and features of federalism in the last lecture. So here we will be covering the other topics of this chapter. Let's see what are the topics of this chapter quickly. The first topic we will be covering, that is difference between unitary and the federal system. Second topic is different routes through which federation can be formed. Third one, what makes India a federal country? So today we will be covering only these three topics. So let's start with the difference between unitary government and federal government. It can be also called as unitary system and federal system. So here in this column you will be knowing about this points are of unitary system and these points are of federal system. So here in unitary system there is only one level of government. The name itself says that uni. Okay, uni means one. So here uni means one level of government. So here uni means one level of government, but in the federal system there are two or more levels of government. So here two or more levels of government. We have seen that federal definition is also the same, that the government system is having two or more levels of or two or more tiers of governing system is known as a federal system. Okay, so here come to the unitary system, what it is. Second point of unitary system is that central government can pass an order to the provincial or local government. Yes, what happens here? A central government can pass a order to the local government. But here in the federal system, what happens? Here central is also powerful and state government is also powerful. So here central government cannot order the state government to do something. Sometimes they give the order but not the always. Okay. Then central government is supreme and administrative division exercise only powers that the central government has delegated to them. So here in the unitary system, central government is the supreme. But here in the federal system, even state government is having also have the power, as well as central government also has the power. So here what it states, that state government has power of its own for which it is not answerable to the central government. Later in the later topics we will see that what powers central government is having and what powers state government is having. Let's move to the second topic, that is different routes through which federation can be formed. Different routes through which federation can be formed. So here there are two routes, that is coming together federation and holding together federation. So here we are having the two routes, that is coming together federation and holding together federation. What it means that coming together, the name or the word itself states that voluntarily coming together. The first route involves independent states. Okay, any independent state by their own, if they are coming and forming a bigger unit, forming the bigger unit, this can be called as coming together federation. This can be called as coming together federation, and this is formed in the US, Switzerland and Australia. It means that in the Australia, Switzerland and USA, coming together federation type of system exists. Now come to the second one, that is holding together federation. Holding together federation, it means that large country decides its power and it also divides its power between the constituent state and the national government. For example, India is one of the holding together federation. It means that here in the India we are having the three tier of government, that is central government, state government and lower government, that is panchayati governing system. So here what happens, the central government divides. Central government has given some of the power to state government. State government has given power to some of the power to the panchayati raj. So here what happens, the large country decides, or the central government gives the power to the state government or to the lower tiers of the governing system. So got this point? So there are two different routes through which federation can be formed, that is coming together or else holding together. Coming together examples are USA, Switzerland and Australia. Holding together examples are India, Spain and Belgium countries. Now, what do you think that, what things makes India a federal country? In the last lecture we have seen that federal country or the federal word means changing the tires. Now students, what do you think that, what things makes India a federal country? Here you are having a three or a system or the list you can call union list, state list and concurrent list. By studying this list, you will come to know that India is a federal country because due to presence of this list in our constitution. We will look into the first list, that is union list. In the union list, what it means that it includes the subject. Subject means it includes the matters or the topics of national importance, like for example defense, foreign affairs, banking, communication, currency. So these all topics or these all subjects comes under the national interest. National interest means authority of on this all subjects will be of central government. No one can authorize, like for example to defense of the country, foreign affairs, banking, communication and currency. This all work should be only handled by the central government of India or union government of India. Here union government alone makes the law relating to this subject which is mentioned here. Clear everyone? So here what it means that union list means only the authority of central government to make any decision or to pass any law on these topics. Which topics? That is defense, foreign affairs, banking, communication and currency. Move to the second list, that is state list. State list means here the power will be given to only state. Only state can make the decision on the topic like or the subject like police, trade, commerce, agriculture, irrigation. Okay, so these are the topic on which only state can take the decision. There will be no interruption of the central government. Government alone can make laws relating to the subjects mentioned in this list. As we have seen that in the union list, only union government or the central government is responsible to make the decision. So here similarly here also the topics which is mentioned or the subjects which is mentioned here is only responsibility of the state government to make the decision on this topic. Coming to the last list is called as a concurrent list. And why it is called the concurrent list? Because this list includes such subjects in which there is a requirement of union government as well as the state government also. So the topics like or the subjects like forest, trade unions, marriage, adoption, successions. So here are the some of the topics or the subjects where the requirement of both the government or the corporation of both the government is required. That's why this list is known as the concurrent list. Concurrent list means here the decision will go with the with the help of both the government, that is union also as well as state government also. Here any one government will be not responsible for taking the decision. Here both the government has to sit together, then they will come to the conclusion on the mentioned topics. Hope you have understood this, and before going to this video, just go to the chapter reading once again so that you will have the clear idea what the explanation is going on.